What's up guys, Commander Alex here, and today we're going to be talking about how to choose the perfect support for you. Now before you turn off the video because you're a lane main, hear me out. In Vainglory you should always have the ability to be flexible in hero select. Most PoE tier players have the ability to play at least 2 different heroes for support, lane, and jungle carry. That being said, even having one hero that you can play for each of these roles will make you a much larger threat in hero select. Now let's get into the video. First up, we have Catherine. She has 2 CCs, her stun and ultimate. She doesn't require much skill to play at a proficient level and has a very aggressive playstyle. Her ganks are good if your lane reacts, and she scales better than almost any other hero in the game. Use Catherine in the early game to farm and set up ganks, but do not invade since she is not strong at all in the early game. Into the late game, your only goal in teamfights is to land a half-decent silence with your ultimate and dive the enemy's carry with your stun. Assuming you do that, your team should clean up pretty well. Note that Catherine does well with health and cooldown reduction items. Next up, we have Arden. He has 2 CCs, his Vanguard and ultimate. He requires an average amount of skill to play at a proficient level and has a passive playstyle for the most part unless he goes for the catch with his gauntlet. He scales fairly poorly compared to other supports and doesn't play well from behind, and his ganks can be strong but usually rely on a high damage jungler that he can speed up with his Vanguard. Some things to note about Arden are that to use his kit to its fullest potential, you'll need some amount of team synergy. An example of this is vanguarding through a wall to safety or combining your gauntlet with your allies' AoE abilities. Also, Arden plays well with jungle carries that require a speed boost to be effective. My personal favorite is Arden Cruel, since the Vanguard speed boost on Cruel can allow him to stick to pretty much anybody. Moving on, we have Adagio. He has 1 CC, though if he lands his ultimate on a flaming enemy, they will be stunned, so you could say he has 2 under the right circumstances. Adagio has 2 very distinct playstyles with different skill caps. The first is Sustain Adagio, which has a reasonably low skill cap and basically consists of him healing and buffing his team so they out-sustain the enemy team in long fights. The second is Gabe Bizzle's Adagio, which consists of charging into the enemy team, popping a heal and ultimate, and then soaking up all the enemy team's damage. This playstyle requires a lot of skill since you need to always know your limits, be precise with your reflex box, and communicate well with your team. For the average player, you will simply run into the enemy team and die, but if you possess the power of Gabe, you will be able to take all the enemy team's damage, get a 3-man stun to set up a triple kill for your sniper, and walk away with enough health for Kraken. When playing Adagio, pressure early game and make sure you get ahead because Adagio plays quite poorly from behind. Our next support is Fortress. He has no crowd control abilities and a very high skill cap. He's usually played very aggressively in the early game but scales quite badly into the late game. As for his ganks, they can be quite good due to his ability to boost his ally speed and gap close very well. When playing Fortress, abuse his early power by invading a lot. When looking at team comps for Fortress, be sure one or both of your teammates have CC abilities, since without a CC, a team has a lot of trouble making picks. Finally, let's take a look at the newest support on the fold, Finn. Finn has 3 CC abilities and requires a medium amount of skill to play at a proficient level, but a massive amount of skill to master. He has a very aggressive playstyle early, but turns passive into the late game when he can sit back and look for picks with his anchor. He scales very well due to his passive and has an amazing post-level 6 gank. When playing Finn, focus on getting early boots to counter his very slow movement speed, and farm until you hit level 6, then set up easy kills for your team with your anchor. Note that Finn has great base damage on his abilities, so in almost any support v support fight, he will come out ahead. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video and that you found a support that really fit your playstyle. If you like what I've been saying here, please leave a like, and if you don't agree with me, please leave a dislike and maybe a comment telling me what you don't agree with. That being said, if you like the content in general, think about subscribing so that you can get more of it. Anyway, I'm Commander Alex telling you to become a lieutenant today. I'll talk to you guys next time.